Will the charges versus Scottie Scheffler be dropped? Because let's start the show off. There's a video that came out yesterday, and I want to dive into it. He threw something in that motherfucker.
A clipboard or something. Whoa, pissed off.
I'd be suing him. And then those people right there, they're like an old couple walking in. See that?
Yep.
It's not like they're really alarmed or they're not like there's some crazy shit going on. This motherfucker's all in his car. And
I thought the cop said that Scheffler dragged him for 20 feet or something. And
80 feet.
80 feet, and I ain't seeing no movement.
So 80 feet, he tore his jeans or his pants. His pants were thrown or was torn, and he said that he caught him with his bumper or something, and some crazy shit. First of all, he hasn't drove anywhere from that angle. Now, are they saying he drove from this side 80 feet and came in? Because the boy was running. It wasn't like he was dragging.
Right.
Or getting dragged. Very interesting video.
And then he stopped, though. Like, to me, the way it was worded before seeing the video was as if Scheffler was just fucking sped off, was on a chase for a little while, and then the mother was hanging on the end of the bumper, dragging him through dirt, and they made it sound way different than what we're seeing right here. He's going 5 miles per hour.
Yeah, probably why all the cops were kissing his ass during the whole tournament, because they probably knew they were fucked. Let me dive into it. I got a daily rant I want to take off right off the show with you on this thing.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
This topic right here. And I want to make sure we address this in the most gray area way, the most neutral way possible, knowing all things about what a lot of folks that are brothers think about the cops, what white folks think about brothers, what brothers think about white folks, what white folks think about cops. I want to break it out all ways because it's the realest show on planet Earth. In light of the latest video of Scottie Scheffler, this is not a good look for police across America. We already have a negative connotation of police. We have been going through a police defund the police push due to certain narratives pushing that particular situation of defunding the police. But when you see video after video that goes against the reason for police or the reason to have police, then you have to make your own decisions as people, as humans. People make mistakes, no question. Then we have shitty people. There's a huge difference in taking shitty people and putting them in jobs of power to continue to be shitty people and doing a shitty job. It takes us humans to decipher through that, decide on that factor alone on if he's a shitty person or did he make a shitty mistake as a good person. This is a cop who seems to have possibly known who Scottie Scheffler was. From me, being a judge of character, that's my assumption. I think he recognized him. I think he saw him. He wanted to gain a bit of fame by doing what he ultimately did in that video. He shut off his body camera, which is a direct violation by their code. And apparently, from what I've heard, he has been reprimanded and possibly fired from everything I'm hearing. At least he's been disciplined and put on leave for sure. I saw that. Scottie Scheffler apparently has told the truth from the jump, and now there is video evidence that proves he was going to go golf. That's all he wanted to do. Our friend Jason Whitlock has said he was wrong on a tweet yesterday after Jason Whitlock stated Scottie Scheffler should have complied and stopped the day it happened. But we had zero video evidence, as I told Jason Whitlock to himself, and all we can do is assume. And sometimes assumptions make asses of us all. Smitty, we got to make sure we look at this in half glass full, half glass empty, whatever you want to say. I've had police act a fool with me and my homies in the car in certain particular areas. I've had black cops actually act worse with me than white cops, and I think that's a like they're acting, they have to do it in front of a white cop. Like, this is what we really thought growing up. Why the brothers worse on me? Why the white boys worse on you? Like, that's how it was when I grew up. Now, then I've had white boys that are asshole cops, and I got friends that are cops. And the problem, the issue is, like, there's good people and there's bad people. And I don't care what job you're in. Football coaches, police, players, politicians, priests. There's shit people, and then there's people that have shitty jobs. Cops have bad jobs, hard job, dog, because we're going to call them for help one day, and then you're going to want to defund them the next. And it's to me, there's always a bad apple, and sometimes that one bad apple ruins the whole batch. I just want to make sure, like, because now what this cop did is he's opened up Pandora's box again to where everyone's going to now come out and say, Scottie Scheffler is going to privilege. He's going to benefit from white privilege. He'll get off. That's what they're going to say on that side. Then the other side over here, the brothers are going to be like, man, if that was a white boy, he would have got his ass whooped. And then you're going to have the defund the cop guys say, I told y'all to defund the police. And then you're going to have the guys defending the cop say, this is one bad apple. He fucking was an idiot. He wanted to fucking have some fame. And don't judge him by all of us.
Right.
And so, see, this one cop has allowed for a conversation to be had and create another discussion. And now half the world's going to say this, half's going to say this, and you're going to have the neutral side that's going to say, man, it is what it is. So it's a bad look. The cop fucked up. He's lied. No body camera, which is a Kentucky state law by police to have their body cameras engaged and on. I just think this is a very, very bad look by a cop. Look at this guy. Look at him run. To me, it's not like it's not a run for desperation, homie. That's a run to, I need to be the center of attention.
Right.
He ain't digging out Smitty like this motherfucker has cocaine in the car and shit. He's just like, Scottie, I want to be on camera. This is what it is, man. I don't know. That's why you got to know your rights a lot of time, man. You got to know how to beat the law. But your take on Scottie Scheffler's police, that now this police, you think, see, and I don't know the guy. And that's the hard part. You don't know this dude. What if he was a fucking A-list cop that's been helping brothers his whole life? Like, we don't know. And now we want him fired. And people want him fired. And then and we're up here making an assumption on a cat. And then what if he's an absolute shitbird? And he's just a piece of shit, and he's been violation after violation as a cop, and he's violated amendments of people's rights. We don't know. So, like, that's why this job is a very hard one as a cop, in my opinion. The hardest job, man. Teachers and cops. I got to be real with you. So it's a hard, slippery slope, man. And we don't know. Bottom line is we don't know. But I did tell Whitlock, because he came out right when it happened and said, hey, this guy should have complied, just like George Floyd, just like all these things. So at first, I gave him respect for calling out a white boy should have complied, which I gave him respect for. Since you're going to call out George Floyd, you call out this guy too. So that was cool. That was cool. But we don't know enough, homie. Like, now this comes out with us writing apology letters on Twitter. Like, I was wrong. Scottie was right. Like, that's why I say hold on a few days.
Right.
That's what we said on the show that day. I said, we don't know shit. We don't know enough. Let's hold back.
Because the story didn't even make sense to me from the jump. I'm like, why the hell? And I don't even know this Scheffler, cat. I'm not like a huge golfer, but it just why the hell would this golfer be dragging along a cop and speeding through? I'm like, it just sounded crazy to begin with. So I'm so glad that we got some footage here to see it. And like you said, I mean, I thought your rant was flawless in terms of the different narratives of how people are going to react to this and all the different angles from it. But I think you hit the nail on the head. Like, at the end of the day, we need more information in terms of, like, should he be fired? If this is his first offense, no, I wouldn't say he should be fired from the first offense. But if he's if he has a history of doing, wrongdoings, then yeah, he should be fired then, because this don't make sense. Like, what went through your head? If, like, I'm gonna cut my body camera off.
Apparently,
you possibly thought about it.
And apparently, this guy has priors.
Oh, well, to answer your question, if that's the case, get him up out of there. I'm like, I don't hate the police at all. Like, people always say, well, who you gonna call? It was an issue. Yeah, I'm gonna call the police because because that's the only option, legal option. Because if I don't call the police and I handle it myself, now I'm potentially going to jail. So when you say who you gonna call, well, that's because that's our literal only option. Whether I love them, hate them, like them, dislike them, whatever, that's our only option. Because the other option is me going to jail from doing something myself. So that don't, just because I'm calling them doesn't mean that I agree with every single thing they do or that they're so great. There are some great officers. Again, you got friends that are cops. I got teammates who are cops who I'm cool with, who I know are really good people. So, nothing is all like, you should never say cops are bad, like in whole. You should never put anything in whole. You know what I'm saying? Like people say black people are this, white people are that. Like, no, nothing is whole. Everybody has, has bad apples, and in some categories you have more than just a few bad apples. You have a percentage of that group that is bad. And if we do have evidence of a bad cop or someone who has a history of wrongdoings, let's get him up out of there. And if this cat is one of those guys, let's get him out of there. Not because he's racist or anything like that, because he's a bad cop. He's a bad person. Because I don't want him doing anything wrong to anybody. A white man, a white woman, a black man, a black woman, a Mexican, a Chinese, whoever. We want people out here to protect and serve, and people who really care about the well-being of our mothers, our daughters, our sons, our cousins, our sisters, and who really here to help us out. Are they going to be perfect? No, we understand that. But at least go out there with good intentions. And I would love to ask this man, like, what were your intentions when you turned your body camera off? Come on now. That means you went in there on some bullshit. You went in there like, all right, let me turn this off so I can act up and do what I want to do. And then y'all put together this big ass lie. And I bet it wasn't just him who lied. Probably his cops his partners or whatever who was around him. Because you can always protect your own. They're over there lying and they thought they were gonna get away with it. And thank God the video got out, because so many times in the past, cops have lied and there wasn't any video and they got away. So I'm just glad that there was a video. And hopefully justice is served in this situation.
Yeah, it's a slippery slope, man. It really is. It's a slippery slope, and it is what it is. More shit will come out, I'm sure. But the problem I have is this, though. Louisville has still not dropped the charges. And that is telltale sign. That is a telling sign, because they're standing on business. And why? You just caught a guy. You reprimanded a guy, and you're under your force. He has a prior issue on his rap sheet as a cop. He did this to a golfer who clearly was not trying. We act like this motherfucker robbed Target and was on his way to fucking sell the goods. I'm trying to figure out, why are they holding on to this? Right. Why is Louisville just not come out and ate crow and say, you know what, we apologize to him? Because if I'm Scottie Scheffler, who's about to be worth over $100 million this year with everything he's got going, I'm suing. I'm suing for loss of wages. I couldn't perform to my peak. You had me stressed. I was in jail. I was falsely accused. Now it's you know how these motherfuckers, it's a stress leave thing. I could have won $7 more million. Yeah. Now if I'm Louisville, shit, I'm dropping these charges and kissing his ass. But they're not. So hey, are they doing it because they don't want to be the guys that said we let a white boy off, but then we fucking hold on to like Breonna Taylor, whatever her name was, and all those other folks that happened whatever happened in Louisville? Are they doing that because they know they're going to take a backlash in that town now? Like, there's a lot of shit going on. We don't know what's going on. So can they just drop the charges? Can they just drop them because it's a white dude now? Because race is coming into this. Regardless, this is what's going to be brought up. So it's going to be interesting, man. It's going to be interesting.